There are so many different aspects to somebody's life, but not all of them are equally beneficial to their own personal growth. In this video, we're going to focus on 5 different areas that you need to be working on in order to feel incredible. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name is Bennett. I'm here to share some ideas that help me move the needle just a little bit, so I hope you find it beneficial. Throughout our days, we might be feeling a little bit emotional, and sometimes we're feeling it, and other times we might not be feeling. But what is it that we can start to do to make sure that we actually feel the way we want to be feeling? And the first area that we're going to talk about is the area of getting unstuck. You see, there are so many things in your life that you might want to be doing, certain experiences you want to have, certain vacations you want to take. And because we're so used to our own routine, we're not able to move forward. We stay stuck in the life that we're living. Routine is an amazing thing, but when we're doing things that we don't want to be doing, our routine is actually something that is not really productive. We want to try to build the habits of having a routine that's going to be beneficial to us. Somebody who has the routine of coming home from work and just needing to put their legs up and watch Netflix for 4 or 5 hours is very different than somebody who comes home from work, spends time with their family, and then ends up working on their future when everybody's asleep. Now, what's interesting is that they're both routines. Both people had to work to do what it is that they wanted to do, and then once you do it over time, that just becomes who you really are. People ask high performers all the time, what is it that you do differently? And the answer really is they just stay consistently with it. If you know somebody who's jacked and just looks great, so all they really did was just eat properly and go work out. So we ourselves too, if we want to become somebody, if we want to be doing something, let's do the things that we want to be doing. And if you're telling me, Bennett, I have zero idea, so here is an exercise for you. I want you to take out a piece of paper or to go into your computer, and I want you to write down 100 things that you want to experience. And what ends up happening after about 20-25 experiences, you have a really difficult time to come up with other experiences. And that's where the real growth happens. For so many of us, we can't get out of that perspective that we're in, and we need an exercise like this to show us what's really possible. And by doing that, we're going to start to see what it is that we want to be doing. Another area that people really get stuck in is their 9-to-5, their job that they're doing. And for the people who are an entrepreneur, it could be that they're doing it because they've always been doing it, they got thrown into it. And for other people, they might be having a job that they've had for 20 to 30 years. And of course, everybody has to be realistic with their situation, but if you're somebody who's been wanting to do something else, life is really short. And even if you say you're going to be living to over 100, how many of those years are you going to be able to be doing something, to have the energy to be able to take those risks? We need to understand that if we want to be doing something, we have to set ourselves up. I'm not saying to burn all the bridges, but try to strategize in terms of what it is we're doing and how it is we can get out of that unstuck feeling. And the final area where so many people get stuck is in certain relationships. You see, relationships could be one of those things, could be the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world. What we need to understand is that if we are in a bad relationship, we are with somebody who's not looking for us to grow, for us to become the best person, which also means you want them to become the best version of themselves, then it might be that we're in the wrong relationship. Having the wrong partner could be something that could be so detrimental. And for so many people, they're so stuck because they've been with them for 5 or 10 years. Understand that having that courage could be something good that could be so freeing for you. The next topic I want to talk about is our physicality. You see, in order for us to feel good, we have to have enough energy to do the things that we want. Why is it that some people could sleep 5 hours a night and they feel like they are on caffeine all day, while other people could sleep 9 or 10 hours a day and are just so exhausted? And a lot of it has to do with our own diet. You see, nowadays there's so much marketing that goes into food that we think we're eating healthy foods, but it's really not. It might be healthier than what we might have been eating, but guess what? That doesn't make it better for us. We have to understand and we have to learn what it is we're doing. And the first place to do that is with the food that we eat. Are we constantly eating fried foods? Are we constantly going out to eat to just get that quick hit? Understanding that could be so beneficial to our own growth and our own self-confidence. For so many people, they're just so exhausted that they can't get themselves to move, and it really just starts with what it is they're eating. On the other hand, you also need to be moving. You need to be exercising. You need to be getting out there. I know for me, whenever I start to get antsy, I start to think about the last hour or two and what I've been doing, and it's usually because I've been sitting and just working. I know for me personally, I need to get up. I need to be moving. So whether it's you're working out in the middle of the day or going on walks throughout your day, it can be something that could be so beneficial for you. The amount of people who are not being physical is so unfortunate. There's no reason why we should need a scare in order to get us to moving forward. We all know we should be doing it. And if we could start to do it slowly and build those disciplines, that could be something that could help us move forward in this area. That being said, if you have found this video beneficial, feel free to subscribe down below. The next area I want to talk about is our relationships. And I know we spoke about having a toxic relationships, But what about spending time and making an effort for the other relationships in our life? It's so interesting that as we get older, we tend to have a smaller pool of friends than we once did when we were younger. And a lot of it is practically because we just have so many other priorities going on that we don't have that time to be able to spend with other people. But understanding that if you can spend some time with other people, it could be something that can be so beneficial to help you move forward. As Jim Rohn says, you are the average of the 5 people around you. And if we can start to surround ourselves with people who are a little bit ahead of us, that can be the thing that pulls us to them and helps us move forward. For so many of us, we're so stuck because a lot of us are just lonely. We might have 1 or 2 people that we speak to, and we don't realize how much it is that we're losing out in that area. We need to understand that if we want to be moving forward, we need to be social. We're social beings, and we need to be able to get out there. Rekindling those relationships or making new ones can be something that can be so beneficial for your future. And what's interesting is that most people, I believe, want to be having more friends, but everybody's just stuck in that mindset. It takes effort and it's going to take time, but understanding those relationships, that could be something that could be beneficial. Another area of relationships I really think is family. You see, at the end of the day, when we're on our deathbed, the people that are closest to us are usually our family members. So whether that's our immediate family members or extended family, understanding that those people are always going to be there. They're going to be with you through thick and thin. Spending time, sending a text, or even calling somebody could be something that could be so beneficial to that relationship. Most elderly people talk about how they wish they spent more time on their relationships when they were younger. And it's something that is so key to us when we're trying to work on ourselves to become better. Understanding that is going to be beneficial, and having that blueprint right now, wherever you are, is only going to be able to help you move forward with that. And the last but not least is the person you're going to be spending the rest of your life. Hopefully, if it was a toxic relationship, we spoke about that and we're able to move forward. But understanding that if we can have somebody who is going to be looking out for us and we can look out for them, that is going to be the person that is only going to help us move forward. But guess what? It doesn't just stop after the wedding. Every day you need to be working on yourself. Every day you need to be working on your relationships. If you want to become somebody, you have to be doing so much better. For so many of us, we get so busy and we end up taking advantage of the people who are the closest to us. And they also understand because they realize that you're doing things for them. But what we need to do is you need to set aside time for those people, the people that we love. So whether that's a date night, or whether that's 10 minutes before bed to have a conversation, setting that time up can be something that can be so beneficial for your relationships. The next area I want to discuss is our finance. And what I think happens is that a lot of people want to become successful. A lot of people want to be living incredible lives. And guess what? Things cost money. We're not going to sugarcoat it. But I think a lot of people don't understand what is necessary in order to become successful. There's a reason why so many people are not successful. And the reason is because it's hard. We need to shift that perspective and understand that if we want to become financially successful, we need to work hard. It is the thing that for most of us, we're spending most of our day doing, and even when we're not doing it, we're thinking about it, and recognizing that is something so important to our own success. I'm not saying that this should be the end-all be-all, but understanding that if we're going to be spending time, let's spend the appropriate amount of time, and let's really understand what it is we need to be doing. Another area of finances that is only going to make you feel so much better is looking to give a little bit. And the truth is, it doesn't necessarily have to be only finances, but that's just such an easier way. Or maybe even offer your time to somebody who's at need. That can be something that could be so life-changing. And you might think it only might be life-changing for them, but honestly, you might be getting more out of it. When you're able to help somebody for the sake of helping them and for no ulterior motives, it is one of the most incredible feelings. So understand when is it that you can do it. Maybe even make it a family activity so you can combine a bunch of these things. But understanding that if you can start to give more, you're only going to feel better about yourself. And the last part about finances is understanding that we need to plan for the present and for the future. For so many people, they're so focused on now and what it is they need to be doing that they're not planning for the future. They're not understanding that they can start to set themselves up in a way that they're going to only be successful later on. It is on us to recognize that we have to learn and educate ourselves in order to become more successful. And if we could do that and start to implement at least one of the strategies, it could be life-changing for the unknown later on. And this brings me to my final topic of what you can start to do to feel incredible, and that is self-respect. For so many people, they say they're going to do things and then they just don't do them. This small trick of just doing what you say you're going to do can really start to shift so much in your own personal life. How many times have you left yourself down? Or how many times have you hurt your self-esteem because you said you were going to do something and you just didn't do it? Understand that our word is our bond, and for nobody else to say except for us. We have the ability of making change. We have the ability of doing things differently. And it's on us to really make that happen. And what's interesting is that you don't have to be the same person you always have. You see, for so many of us, we think we're a certain way and we can't change. We think we're an introvert and we can't be an extrovert. We think that maybe we're not able to become a public speaker, or we can't put ourselves out on social, but understanding that growth mindset of you can become somebody. Because 6 years ago, you decided a path to pick, and you arrived where you are today. And maybe that place where you are is not the greatest, but understand that you have the ability to move forward and to pick a different path starting today. And it's why I tell all my clients that when you set goals, you want to set a goal that makes you become somebody. Who is it that you're becoming? What experiences are you going to do in order to become somebody, to cultivate the characteristics that you're going to need in order to become successful? Because when that opportunity is gone or things are stripped away from you and you're just left all alone, what are the skills that you're gonna be able to build and to rely on in order to help you move forward to that next part of it? And if you're somebody who wants to feel incredible, if you're somebody who wants to take it to the next level, make sure you take a look at this next video where I talk about 7 things you need to hear.